My name is David Peneloza. I work as a lead consulting engineer for Verizon, and while I'm involved in the Cisco Champions, Cisco VIPs, Cisco Live, and now recently with Tech Field Day.
Awesome. And I'm Tom Hollingsworth. I'm an event lead for Tech Field Day, and we're here in Barcelona, Spain at Cisco Live Europe. And as David said, he is a first-time Tech Field Day delegate. Now, David, you've had a lot of experience in the past with being involved in community, but this is your first introduction to our community here at Tech Field Day. You've been here for the last couple of days doing presentations. What do you think about that?
Well, First, I was kind of nervous to apply for it because I was worried about what are you guys looking for, and most of the time you get in this imposter syndrome of, no, I'm not good enough for this. I still feel it though, but I found some kind of like impulse to apply for it. And after coming here, then I just got amazed with first the people that it's here explaining us stuff, like Victor Moreno, who came some minutes ago, and the guy's an eminence, and then suddenly it's like, how's it going? He's just next to you, and but at the same time, it's also meeting all the other guys, all the other delegates. Then suddenly you get to meet some other guys that you might have seen before on Twitter and you might have talked to, or you were even in their sessions when they were talking about like Jasper. And then it's like, hey, how's it going, dude? Everything cool? And, yeah, sure, let's have a coffee or let's eat something. It's good to interact with all the people, not only on the social media side, but also the technical guys. And I would say it's a very rich mixture of both worlds.
So do you feel like you were kind of adopted by the community as soon as you were introduced, that they kind of brought you in and said, hey, you're one of us, you're one of the people that we really appreciate hearing from and being a part of this event?
Yeah, I like it. Actually, the first thing I said when I came was that just let me know what I can see and what I can't, because the history of my life is, David, don't say that. And you can ask my mom and she will tell you this, because she was all the time kind of dictator with this because I was too awkward. I'm still awkward. But when I came then, the first thing you said was, no, you're free to ask questions, everything is okay. It's like, wow, so I can be awkward my own way, right? But yeah, I loved it. It's pretty cool.
Just for the record, I didn't tell David that he couldn't say anything, so he's totally cool in Tech Field Days. But the funny thing about this is that even though this is David's first time at Tech Field Day, I know you really well because we both spend a lot of time at Cisco Live, and I know David as the Musketeer Man. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there was building the character was actually taking time. It took a while because first I got this white cape, the fastest color, I think it's 2018 or 19, I can't remember the year. And I had only the cape and it was perfect, but then we were discussing over Twitter with Denise Fishburne, and she came up with the idea about the community that we are all for one and one for all, and then she made these stickers with the Musketeers and everything, and suddenly on Cisco Live Europe last year, she just gave me the hat, and I already had the cape. It was like, wow, the whole thing is ready. And what made it better is that at Cisco Live US, 6 or 5 months later, I got the longer cape. So actually now when I'm running, because I'm always late, you see the cape just moving this way. And actually it happened before that I was late for a podcast and they told me, you cannot just be late. We cannot keep this guy waiting and all that. And I had to run from one side of the venue to another. And people just saw the cape moving there. And some guys were like, dude, how did you get this sorted with Cisco? It's amazing. I was like, no, man, I was late. but well, it worked really well. It's been built over time, and I guess what I feel is that it represents what the community is all about, because we're all having our little bit of imposter syndrome, and we try to get support from other guys because I don't believe that you are able to feel like you know everything. Because in the place where I am now, I just got here because of the friends that have been supporting me. So I feel like all of us are really supported by somebody else. Like when I have a doubt about something in a file, no, not in a file actually, some weird stuff in a pickup, then I know that I can ask Jasper because he will say that it's a problem or maybe on the adapter or whatever, or I can ask something to Daniel Deeb about design, or I can ask Denise Fishburne about multicast, anything. It's just that you know where to go. So we are all the sums of all the knowledge of all the people involved in the community. So you're actually not alone. And all this one for all and all for one just picks perfectly there.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I noticed that a few of the names that you mentioned in that list, folks like Denise Fishburne and Jasper and Daniel Dibb, they're all part of the Cisco Champions program from what I remember. And you just got selected as a Cisco Champion for this year.
Yes, yeah, I got again this year, and I've been, for the last 4 years, I have been champion VIP. Daniel Dibb is there. Jasper, I do believe he was selected, but I'm not entirely sure. And Denise, well, although she cannot participate because she's a Cisco employee, she's involved with the community to push up and push all us up. Sorry, I got tangled with this. And well, trying to motivate us. Yesterday, I was sitting with her discussing about AMP and some podcasts, and you just get to have her involved, and well, you know the energy she has. So actually, imagine both of us in a podcast, and all the other people is just relaxed, and suddenly we're just making jokes and talking about users and stuff, and suddenly we're talking about security, and then, well, Tiffany has been a very bad girl. Let's block her. So it's pretty cool. You get to have all this involvement, and I love it because you will have a limit to where you can get if you're alone. But if you get with some other people, just tag along, it's just perfect. You will get, well, way farther.
Awesome. What do you feel is one of the biggest benefits of being a Cisco champion as long as you have been? What's the one thing that keeps you coming back to the program?
The people, again. Because the interactions are amazing. And not only this, we get to do a lot of amazing stuff in the event. We have tours or we have sessions in which we talk with specific experts. They show us how they build the NAC, how they build the event. During the year, we get access to some sneak peeks, but then they tell us, I'm gonna let you know, but you need to shut up for a while. But you get to see amazing things before they come out. And that feeling of, did you know that? Yes. And I don't know, it's just cool. Of course, the people you get to talk to, which I said before, because you have champions from all over the world. So you have guys that are in Asia, you have guys that are in Europe, and some other people in the US. And then suddenly you might have a problem now, and then you just tell them in our WebEx Teams room, hey, I have this issue. And then suddenly another guy says, oh yeah, I fixed it doing this, or I wrote a blog post about this. Or even better, let's just jump on a WebEx call and fix it together. So you get people that is really an interest, not an interest, it's selfless. So they just try to help, but they're not expecting anything in return, which, well, we shouldn't, I guess. It's just that you just feel the urge to, or you just feel this impulse to help, to try to improve the situation. And it's awesome because you're not expecting them to tell you, hey, you owe me something or something. It's just that, let's do it. I have time, so well, let's hop in and try to fix it.
I couldn't agree more. And with the long history that Tech Field Day has had with the Cisco Champions program, I can tell you that David is a prime example of the kind of folks that both Cisco Champions and Tech Field Day look for. They're knowledgeable, they're outspoken, and they're selfless. They volunteer their time to help other people, whether it's running through Cisco Live with a cape, trying to make it to a podcast, to being around the table to talk to a presenter and ask them questions about some of the things that are going on. I think that you, more than anything, exemplify to me the spirit of what a real community member is like. And David, I thank you for being a part of Tech Field Day.
Hello.
I thank you for being a part of Cisco Champions, and I really do wish you all the success in your career and in your community leadership role. Now, if people want to find out a little bit more about you, maybe read some of the things that you've written or see some of your technical acumen, where can they go to learn a little bit more about that?
Well, there's some articles in Cisco Learning Network. And there you can also find me on my Twitter account at David Samuel PS, or you can check also on the Tech Field Day delegate webpage, where the blog that I will update more frequently, I'm sorry, it's there, or actually, yeah, my Twitter webpage, or there's even an interview in which, well, they were asking me things about what do you think about the event, or what do you think about Tech Field Day, or how did you get in IT, all these kind of things are actually there in Tech Field Day as well.
Yeah, you're right. And if you want to read a little bit more about that interview and find a smashing picture of David in his hat and cape, you can head over to gestaltit.com, where you can find a lot of articles about folks and the members of the community, as well as more information about Tech Field Day. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we look forward to the next interview we can bring you.